Hey Alka, Eric here. I don't know if you may have got confused, but we have a regular lesson today, and next week is when we're not going to have a lesson because of Thanksgiving. So you may have got confused. It's like 4:43 right now. So and you haven't got on, so I thought, well, I can take the last 15 minutes of the lesson here and kind of go over what we was going to go over anyway. So here's what that's going to be. Last week, remember, we went over this little, this little line here. And I said if you wanted to, you could go ahead and use your fingers. And I would recommend using your thumb. You can use the first three if you want to, but I would recommend you use your thumb, middle, and ring finger to get you used to using these three fingers anyway, so that when you hold your pick, you won't be relying on your first finger at all. So your pick can kind of act as your thumb, and then these two can stay where they were. So remember, we've got our capo on the 3rd fret because this song is in B flat. Okay, so once again, I hope you've been practicing that. And what I was going to tell you and mention to you, and I'm going to go ahead and get my pick out. I would recommend you try to practice with the pick though, because when you get ready to strum, you're going to need that pick to really hammer on those strings. So what I was going to say is that when the first chord is like a D, then you have your pinky down. Then this chord is kind of like a B minor, but it's the last 3 notes. So you got, if you're looking, you forget that we have a capo here and you're looking at real fret numbers, it's the 12, 11, 10 on the G, B, and E. And I was going to mention too, the next chord is just 2 frets down. If you'll keep the first 2 fingers, this finger and the ring finger down, and slide it down and lift up your middle finger, all you have to do is put your pinky down. So I was going to mention that so that you won't have to lift up, come over here. You know, I don't know why I didn't even notice that last week, but I was just fiddling around with it right now and thought I could just go ahead and point that out. Notice that. And while you're sliding, all you have to do is kind of lift on the pressure of your fingers so that you won't get this, scratchy and be a lot of resistance against the frets. So you just lift up a little bit, come down to where you need to be, and put your pressure down on this. It goes on for that for a little while. And I was going to go over today, the chords in this is basically just G, C, E minor, D. And that's the chords that we was just doing. G, C, E minor, D. Okay? And that's just higher up. And I was going to kind of mention about the strumming. The cool thing about the strumming here is that if I go ahead, hopefully this will pick up. I'm recording through QuickTime this time so that the quality will be a little bit better. So hopefully this will pick up. And I'm playing Say right now. If you'll listen to the, and I'll go ahead and turn it up so it can actually be heard. Listen for the drums to kick in, because we're going to base our strumming today base it on the strumming, the drum beat. Okay, so it's a cool trick that you can learn, is create a beat and then try to match that with a strum. So let's hear what this has to say here.
Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Walking like a one-man army, fighting with the shadows in your head, living out the same moment.
Okay, so if you listen to that, you have something that kind of sounds like this. So we have a lot of loud hits. And we have a lot of soft taps. So think of this as the loud hit as your downstroke, like the hard accent that you use for a downstroke. and then the little taps, hard, 1, 2, 3, hard, as the upstrokes and lower downstrokes. They're used to fill the gap so that you won't get a lot of, and that's boring. You want to make it entertaining. You want to make it set a groove to it. So the little taps in between, so hard, tap, 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 hard. You would have hard, 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 hard. So each hard would accent that beat and along with the drum. So every time the drum hits a hard beat, your guitar is hitting a hard beat along with that. Now, it would kind of sound like this. Hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 tap. Now I think, let me go back and listen to it. I think there's one more hard hit. Let's go back and listen to this real quick.
Knowing you'd be better off instead if you could only.
Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so there is 3 hards. So it's hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 hard, hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 hard. And then it just basically there's 3 hard hits, and then there's taps in between that. So if we used our guitar to match that, then we would kind of have that in our heads. Now, in order to work on this effectively, we want to work on one thing at a time. So instead of forming chords and trying to remember which chord the order is and everything, you're going to focus on doing this without any chords at all. You're just going to mute the strum. You mute the strings. So you're going to take your pick and each hard. So we got a hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 hard, hard, tap, 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 hard, tap, 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 hard. Okay, so okay, and you're going to practice that this week. You've got to get this right hand down. You don't want to be working on chords and strumming at the same time. But here's what it would sound like if you did it with the chords. Okay, so basically I got 3 taps in between each hard. See. Okay, so the thing is that we have the first 2 hards has 3 taps in between. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap. Then we change keys. Then we change the chord. We go start that all over again. So the whole thing is hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, that's when the C comes in. Tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap. So we got 1 hard, 3 taps. 1 hard, 3 taps. 1 hard, 2 taps. Okay? And if you just practice this, that's 1. And you keep it going. Once you get used to that rhythm, you're going to keep it going. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap, tap. Hard, tap, tap. Okay? And you want to do this slow. You don't want to do it real fast. And when I'm doing the tap, 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 all I mean is we're going to start involving some upstrokes in this. And I'm not really particular as to what strings I'm actually hitting for the upstroke, because we have so it's going to be a strum down and then another down, up, down strum. Strum, down, up, down, strum, down, up, down, strum, down, up, strum, down, up, down, strum, down, up, down, down. Well, that last one was messed up, but anyway, you get the idea. Okay, so I'm going to do this really slow so you can get an idea when you're practicing exactly where the chords are changing. So here, if we did this by chord, the G and the E minor would be the same pattern. Let me go back here. They're all the same pattern, almost same length. The G and the E minor is going to be one strum tap tap tap. But then you have two more. You have another hard tap 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 and the hard tap tap. That's going to go with the C and the D chords. So the first one is one hard tap tap tap. Then the C is hard tap tap tap, hard tap tap. See how the C was longer and the D was longer than both the G and the E minor? That's the way it's going to work. That's why it's kind of tricky. That's why you want to practice this with a mute first. Get this hand to where you don't have to think about it, okay? And then you can form it with chords. But what I would suggest is form it with your G chords. And you have 2 weeks to practice, okay? That way you can practice all these different techniques and these different ideas. Start with a muted chord, okay, and then go along and play with just a G chord. Okay, now what I was going to mention a while ago and I didn't really get to was the upstrokes and the downstrokes. I'm not really caring about which strings I hit. In this case, I'm hitting the top strings, but you can hit the bottom strings. You can do that as well. It doesn't really matter. The point is to get your hand used to going up and down and hitting strings in both directions. The upstroke is nothing more than just coming back up along the way. Not really holding the pick very hard either. You don't want this hand to tense up. You don't want to grab it like a baseball bat. You don't want that to go on. So keep in mind, once again, we're going to do this with one chord. Practice it like that. So keep in mind, keep your hand loose. Don't try to tense it up. One chord, my bad, one chord. Okay. And so that's going to be pretty much the lesson for this week is whenever you're, working on this, don't forget that this minor shape, you just move it down a whole step, in other words 2 frets, and you can lift that first finger and put your pinky down, and these 2 fingers stay in the same spot, okay? The other thing is, when you find a song that you really like, listen, pay attention to the drum beats, okay? So let's go back and play the drum beats, and then I can build it up from there to show you how we got to the strum idea. So let's go back here and play some of the drum again. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna build from scratch, and then I'm gonna do the muted, then the 1 string chord, and then the full song, so you can see how it goes. Okay. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. part, it goes to the C first, I'm pretty sure. Maybe. We'll go over that maybe next time. I think there's an A minor in there maybe. I think that part, instead of being a C, is an A minor 7, which is A minor, but with a lifted ring finger. Have no fear. And that's E minor. We're giving in. Back to D. Okay. So basically, we started from scratch. We got a strum beat based on the drums. And that's a good way to learn any kind of strum. But always listen for the beat and try to match it on your guitar. First with muted strings, then with just one chord, so you don't have to think about changing chords, but you actually have music. And then try to incorporate the chords with it, okay? There's something else I was going to mention. If I think about it, let me go ahead and go back to this so I can listen to it. If I can think about it, I'll go ahead and say it. If not, we'll go ahead and end for the day.
Say what you need to say. 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 Say what you need to say.
Can't think of what it was. I don't know what it was. I can't think of it. I wish I could remember it. Anyway, I'm going to have to get off here. I got some dinner on the stove I got to work on and get done. But I'll go ahead and upload this and get it uploaded and give you a link to it. If I can think of what the other thing was, I'll email it to you sometime. But it was something to do with rhythm too, I'm pretty sure. Or it might have been something to do with, chords. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, that's this week's lesson, and we won't have lessons next week, but I will see you back on the week after Thanksgiving, and we'll continue lessons then. And I'm pretty sure payment will be due either that week or before, or the week after. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to get off here, and thanks so much, and hope you have a good week and have a happy Thanksgiving. And for whatever reason you're gone today, hopefully that you're okay and that the job thing's going still going good. Still think about that. Still, praying about that and thinking about it. So I guess I'll see you next time and talk to you later. Have a great day and have a great Thanksgiving. And if I think of whatever else it was, I'll email it to you. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.